For this week's history video, I'd like to reach back in time and look at the Crusades in Europe and the Near East. The reason I want to is that President Obama mentioned it at the National Prayer Breakfast early last month. He said, "Don't you Christians get on your high horse about how great your religion is. Look at what you did in the Crusades and look at what you did in the Inquisition in the name of Christ." Well, he sure has a case in the Inquisition. But in terms of the Crusades, I don't think he has one. It's been congealed history and accepted history that Christians were at fault in the Crusades and that it was a bad thing to do and was evil and was imperialistic. But I don't think that's true, based on a real examination of what went on. The Crusades were declared by Pope Urban II in 1095. And the reason he did it wasn't to conquer Jerusalem or to conquer the Middle East or to set up some Christian colony or to create a Christian caliphate that would rule the world worldwide. He did it for a defensive purpose. Christian pilgrims going to Jerusalem and to celebrate Christ and to go to Nazareth and Bethlehem and so on were being harassed and killed and enslaved by Muslims on their way to the Holy Land. And it was becoming impossible to heed the biblical injunction to make pilgrimages to the Holy Land. And it was just a matter of allowing free passage. So he called on all the Christian nations to contribute arms and men and launched a holy crusade to try to open up a safe route to Jerusalem. And the first crusade was the most effective. It fought its way to Jerusalem, conquered the city, and remained in charge there for several years. The problem was that they couldn't hold the territory. These kingdoms were basically just taking farmers who took time off from their farming to go on the crusade. And they didn't have the budget or the means to maintain the men in Jerusalem for any long period of time. So they left guards to try to protect and keep those routes open. Those guards eventually became the Knights Templar and were supported by churches throughout the Western world. The Arabs quickly closed in and blocked off passage again, and there were 7 more crusades with varying degrees of success, none as good as the first one. During the course of one of them, they occupied Constantinople, the head of the Eastern Christian Church, and they were terrible. They so despoiled it and raided it that it weakened the Byzantine Empire, and they lost to the Ottoman Empire a few hundred years later. And while it is true that the Crusaders despoiled many towns on the way and certainly didn't behave like gentlemen as they passed through, it's important to understand that the fundamental purpose of the Crusades was defensive. It was a response to a provocation by the Muslim community that made it impossible for the Christians freely to exercise their religion. And there was no attempt made to stop the Muslims from exercising their religion or to establish a permanent European colony. So let's get that record straight. Thanks for watching.